Hey, welcome to the segment. This is our spoiler review of The Intern. We have a non-spoiler review that's in the link below, so if you want spoiler-free, click there. If you've already seen the movie, or if you just want spoilers, this is the place to be. Caine, spoiler talk, The Intern.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, the character, I think it's Ben, right? Robert De Niro. Loved the fact he had a beautiful wardrobe, beautiful clothes. Didn't like the button down though with the suit. That's not my fave. But everything else, he was very cool. He was
People
very
that might
suave.
not realize this, you sell suits for a living, so you know
I
what
do.
you're talking about.
And of course, even back in the day when he was supposedly working, they really didn't do button down, not with the suit. It's considered as a sports shirt, by the way. But nonetheless, I thought, you know, just seeing his house where he lived, it was wonderful. But I loved his wardrobe.
You know what I was thinking about the characters in this movie? Anne Hathaway, Rene Russo,
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, and then of course the guys from the Workaholics.
Yeah,
and those people.
Workaholics.
It seemed like they were so well cast that I don't remember or their characters' names, and I don't really care about their character name because it seemed like it was Anne Hathaway. And Robert De Niro and Rene Russo. It seemed like they were playing themselves.
Exactly.
At least that's the persona that they they have come into their own in Hollywood, and so I thought that it was like that's Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway hanging out.
And I thought it was cool, you know, the fact that you know, she's hitting on guys, you know, still playing Xbox basically and dressing, you know, like little kids, and that was a great point she made. You know, that women have changed and men, where have they gone into little boys really? And then you've got someone like De Niro who's showing, you know, nice tie, nice suit. Love that. Dress up. That's the message. And carry a handkerchief. My God.
What did you think about? We saw the trailer for this a few times through the last movies that we saw. Did you think that they gave away too many of the funny parts in the trailer, or would you have liked to? I mean, that's a problem I have with a lot of movies, anyways. But especially this one, I thought in the trailer there's about probably 15 little funny scenes, and
didn't say
it was almost everything that would have been really funny was in the trailer.
True, but you know, they got to get someone in to watch it, and that's the problem. You know, how much you show as a spoiler or a trailer, it's the same thing really. I don't know. I mean, you know, looking at the movie, I actually watched it and saw the same take, as it were, again, and still laughed. So it didn't bother me that much. You know, it would have been nice to show a few other ones in there, but it didn't bother me. No, not really.
Let's get into what I didn't like.
Good.
Okay. Because there was a little bit of awkwardness, I think, that came in with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. That I think was to be expected, I suppose, but it was never really acknowledged enough, I think.
Right.
But like, especially by the time it got to the hotel scene. Robert De Niro.
You let me down, Robert.
Would completely be banging this chick. I mean,
I would have been.
And I think Rene Russo almost seemed like maybe a bit of an afterthought. Like maybe like here's the concept of the movie, but we got to write in a character for Robert De Niro so he's interested in somebody else. But there was nothing that would have held him back, and I mean,
well, she might have done, but
she wanted it. She's like, "Hey, do you want to come in and see my room? No, come all the way in and see it. Hey, you want to sit on my bed? No, go ahead and lay down on the bed. I'm going to sit on the chair. No, wait, I'm going to come lay down next to you. By the way, my husband's cheating on me."
Yes, it was a perfect invitation.
Come on, dude.
But however, I have to respect him because he's a gentleman, and perhaps he didn't have any Viagra.
Yeah,
but the point being,
he's a gentleman. But I mean, maybe that's what makes me such a pig, and that's the problem with the younger generation. But I'm just saying, I think if let's just take him out of the roles. If Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway were in a hotel room like that, wouldn't they bang each other?
I think so.
They probably did bang each other on this set. Not that allegedly. I just made that rumor up. But
I got to tell you, she is adorable in that movie, and had I been playing that role, I would have been. As
you know, Anne Hathaway is one of these women that I.
But honestly, I had the hots for Rene.
Yeah,
Russo.
I like Rene Russo too.
Boy, I'm an older guy, I know, but whoa, wow, what a looker. She's a bit old for you.
I mean, I would definitely give her for the story to tell, but
you'd have to be in the Mummy thing.
Yeah. But
it was good.
Anne Hathaway's one of these ladies in movies that I think sometimes can come off just totally
gawky.
Sometimes I just hate her. I liked her in the Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that this was the same character, almost. It seemed like the character after she grew up or something.
Right,
you know?
and I think that, you know, the fact that they dressed her as an adult, they really put some lovely outfits on her. I mean, she looked great, man.
And just her personality just seemed real.
Exactly.
It's kind of like with Tom Cruise. Like, if Tom Cruise is playing Tom Cruise, I can like him.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes he's in a role that doesn't feel like it's him, you know? But if Tom Cruise is a cocky asshole in the movie, then I like him.
He's
and
brilliant.
Anne Hathaway was kind of like a business-minded bitch. Or, you know, like a tough woman.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's how she probably is in real life.
But maybe, and then I thought she did. She nailed it. I thought she did a great job. In fact, everybody did. It was fun. But to talk about spoilers, you know, and you mentioned about the bedroom scene. The one thing that annoyed me a little bit actually was the home robbery. You know, the alleged robbery.
That was where it almost got
corny.
away
from it. Yeah, got away from me a little bit.
It did get corny. Yeah, and that was kind of like, I think in a lot of other movies. That try to be romantic comedies, they go even more extreme than that. So I felt like it was still a little bit reserved. Like, nobody flew through a window. I thought for sure they were going to end up in jail, and we'd have that mugshot scene, showing everybody's mugshot.
So cliche.
And then she'd have to come down and bail them out. Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah,
but they didn't do that.
They didn't do that. Yeah, they succeeded. They actually got through what they were trying to do, and I think a lot of movies it would have been very easy to go off the rails, and you could tell.
Yeah.
It was stuff like that made us look up to the director, because we knew there was something about this.
Yes.
This felt like movies that we like.
Yes.
And it did feel like, if you go back to, for example, Father of the Bride.
Yes.
There's that line that they didn't cross, where it's funny, it's a great movie, but they didn't cross over into somebody's diarrhea or something, you know, or like a penis shot somewhere halfway through the movie or something, which a lot of them are doing these days.
I know, it's uncalled for, you know. Because this movie, I think that's where it's going to be one of those you're going to put in your collection.
Yeah.
And, you know, we actually, when we came out of the theatre, we did do some interviews. A couple of women admitted that they cried in it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's because it was a good...
This would be a great movie, and I think it'll be just about ready for Christmas when you have like the family over or something. And
well, the holiday she wrote as well, by the way.
Yeah, she wrote the holiday too. Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, it's the kind of movie where a big group of people can sit around and watch it. The kids can still be in the room. They're not going to be entertained, but they can still be walking around. You're not going to have to be like, oh, fast forward this scene. It's a good movie all the way through, solid, and to me, it felt very 90s, very just solid romantic comedy in a way, but there wasn't a hell of a lot of romance in it.
Well, you know,
that was like the opposite of romance.
It kind of was, but I thought that was where it was so unique, because what you thought would have happened didn't happen at all, which was the M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah, it was the anti-M. Night Shyamalan. And you know what? Yeah, I called it right on the beginning of the movie. I'm like, obviously he's going to be the CEO at the end of the movie.
He did.
Which made sense all the way through. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. I also thought at certain points, I'm like, okay, they're definitely going to have to hook up. Like, he's got to bang her at this point. No, didn't happen either. And at the very end, there was still never any like she didn't tell anybody, okay, for sure I'm gonna, you know, let's have him be the CEO or whatever. That's the
they didn't tell you, they just cut.
And I think people aren't gonna like that.
No, that was one thing I didn't like about the film.
It left you hanging, and I don't think this movie needed that at all.
No. Unless they're going to bring back number 2, but I don't know.
Which is not going to happen.
Exactly. Intern 2?
Yeah, no. And
the CEO.
I mean, in a horror movie, sometimes it's fun to do that.
Yeah.
Leave you hanging, you know, in a mystery maybe. But in a rom-com like this, it was not needed, and I think it's going to leave some people upset. Although, like, just the very end, I could have used 5 more minutes of that film, 3 more minutes of that film.
Hey, I could have watched it for another hour.
Yeah.
To be honest. I wasn't bored one iota. And actually, I was kind of disappointed that it did finish like that. And I thought, well, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, as soon as it ended, I was like, that was weird.
I know, we both looked at it. Really?
What? Did they forget?
But someone we interviewed, actually, they actually said that they liked the ending. Do you remember? So I thought that was kind of odd. But, you know, everybody to their own, you know?
I think one thing that a lot of people are going to like and a lot of people are going to hate, and probably going to divide the audience right down the middle, too, is that Anne Hathaway gets back with her husband. And the way that they get back together, though, too, where it's not like there's some sort of redemption that the guy has. He basically just says, "I'm sorry, and I'll be better." And and they get back together, and it was so interesting. It was interesting the way that it was written, because when that happened, I was thinking, who the hell wrote this? Because in this day and age, 2015, to have a woman take back a husband like that in a movie is very unorthodox.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
You know, I mean, typically there's a message of and this movie almost seemed to have this, you know, strong independent woman message, but then she goes back with her husband too, where it's kind of like both, and I think that's what this movie was trying to convey, is like a little bit of both.
Well, I think,
you know?
we were seeing both sides, age group wise, and
which was cool, because it didn't feel preachy, even though I was ready to be preached to, and I thought it was being preachy at certain points. When she took him back, I was like, damn, that's weird.
I was shocked at that, actually.
But I was also like, that's hella realistic.
Yeah, well,
that's definitely what would have happened realistically.
Probably because of the child and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe.
And I mean, people that get divorced, they break up and come back together a million times before they get divorced, you know?
True.
So yeah, if there was a sequel, she would be divorced in it. You know, they'd probably get divorced in like 5 or 10 years, but that makes it real. And I'm glad that she did take him back, but I thought it was... I thought it was like, wow, this was definitely an interesting writer's choice, because it would have been so much. And I thought what was going to happen was he was going to say, this would be typical in that movie, that the husband would say, yeah, it's done, I'm in love with the other woman.
That's what I thought.
He would leave her, and so she would be.
Well, they kind of built it up like that too. You thought he was going to leave,
yeah, because he was saying like, oh, it's over, but he was talking about his girlfriend, and I thought
he was talking about them.
Yeah, I thought, well, of course, now he's going to say. And I always think that's so bullshit in movies when they do that, because like men don't do that. Men don't walk away from a marriage like that and say it's over. I want you to be happy, and I'm leaving. No, we throw shit, we break things. The police are called, you know. But you know, I like.
But that's usually over the custody.
Yeah. But I like that. You know, he basically. Said he was sorry, he said he would change, and how many times have you seen that in real relationships?
Right.
And then she takes him back. Whether he still cheats on her again in the future, which he probably would, you know what I mean? But I like that it didn't have this scene at the end where she discovers that she doesn't need a man, and she's a strong, independent woman, and you know...
Well, she didn't really say an awful lot at the end either. I mean, she kind of... It was crying, but you know, I thought.
But people need people. I think that message gets so overplayed that you can be a strong, independent woman, and you don't need a family, and all you need is to be independent. And I like that in this movie she needed people.
Exactly, and I thought that was awesome too. I mean, you know, I just like the whole character development of her. You know, her name I thought was kind of cool in the movie, Jules. I love that name. I thought it was just a great idea, the online fashion. And whoever thought about that? You know, the concept of the online business. You know, the Perfect Fit, I think was called, or whatever. But I thought the whole thing was just very cleverly done. I mean, it really was. And to your point, you know, it was a shock when you thought something was going to happen, like with it.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
I totally called like 4 things in this movie, and I was pleasantly surprised that they didn't happen. M. Night Shyamalan, take some notes, because that's how you write a movie. I mean, I was at several times in this movie surprised, but I wasn't surprised in The Visit. Isn't that funny?
We're talking about surprises. I probably said this before, and maybe I listened to it before. I hate kids in films. I really It drives me nuts, because it's usually look at the camera, try and act. But I thought that young girl, what's her name, JoJo. I thought you did a great job.
What was neat about her? I've seen this done in some movies too, where it's not the first time that there's been a kid acting the way she acts in this movie, in terms of acting kind of. A little bit above her age and a little bit odd. And I think that's a good way to play kids in some of these movies like this, because typically it's probably more natural for the kid actor, because if you can imagine being a 4-year-old actress in a movie, you probably are a little bit above your age. You probably are a little bit odd, socially awkward as a child, and because you're probably a genius, you know, a smart little girl. So play your kids smart little kids, because to me it seemed like she was playing that character everybody was playing themselves.
They all nailed it, didn't they?
Everybody was playing themselves in this movie. It wasn't Jules, it was Anne Hathaway, and it wasn't Ben, it was Robert De Niro. And the Workaholics guys, they came in there great. I mean, obviously that's funny too, because they're in the show Workaholics, where they work in an office and stuff. They're basically playing themselves.
And I thought, you know, senior intern, you're thinking, you know,
I like the concept. It's totally dated. It's already out of date.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it fun, though.
Yeah.
You're going to watch this movie for nostalgia purposes. This is going to be one of those nostalgic movies you watch 20 years from now when you say, remember when all those tech things and everybody was making money online and those businesses would get real big? Remember when everybody used to carry around smartphones instead of wearing them right here or something? Whatever happens in the future,
the
right?
Chip here,
yeah, remember when you actually had to pull out your phone and not just go like that?
Just blink your eye.
So I like that they incorporated that. But anyways, I think we kind of touched on everything. Do you have anything else you wanted to...
Well, I think, obviously you've seen...
Talk about the soundtrack, which is, I don't remember.
I thought there was some good little pieces.
What was it?
Well, there wasn't so much that... I mean, they were aiming at his age group more, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So kind of playing some
that's actually
Sam
the reason.
Cooke and some Miles Davis and stuff. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, there was a little bit of jazz in there, but it was so connected with the movie that it didn't overpower the movie at all.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, I think you'll walk out of the movie not remember... Nobody's going to run to buy this soundtrack.
Nope.
But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it made the movie just flow, like you said, really. And there was some stupid parts, but I loved it.
I think it's right up there. It's not going to get the attention that What Women Want got, or Father of the Bride, because I think times have changed.
I agree.
The marketplace is so cluttered now, but I think it's right up there with them.
Well, I gave it an 8 out of 10, which is hard for me to give 8. So,
and I give it a B+ only because of those few things that I mentioned. I think obviously Renee Russo was she felt a little bit shoehorned into the movie just to give Robert De Niro an excuse not to do what he would have done in real life.
Well, because he said he was, basically in love with her.
Yeah, he's not a priest, though. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
You're right, man. I can't argue. You're absolutely right. But
I'm not saying I would. But
yeah, you would.
I'm not. I'm just saying. A 7-year-old man who's a widower.
Who hasn't done it for a while.
Who's just been also dating Renee Russo for 1 or 2 days anyways. It's not like they were engaged.
Well, Renee, I'm free. Because I would definitely take her home. Woo! Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why it gets a B+ instead of an A, which is a couple, I mean, gosh. I just wouldn't have put him in that situation. Is what I mean, I'm saying if you're writing that movie, like, you don't have to put them in bed together if you're not going to even acknowledge. Like, at least have them, I thought they should have at least kissed or something and then been like, this is stupid.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminded me of the old couple. The fact that they're in bed together, not doing anything, but eating.
That wasn't real. But I wouldn't have even written that scene. That scene did not need to be in that movie unless they were going to go
that's the
a little bit too far.
Version.
Yeah, that's the director's cut.
I like that.
Oh, that was the other one thing I didn't enjoy too much. I felt that there was a little bit too much Robert De Niro. I don't know, ecstasy shown. I mean, there's a couple parts where he's got a boner going on.
I like that. I thought it was.
But I mean, it didn't really show it. But I'm saying, even when she starts like rubbing his leg up his leg and stuff, I'm just like, ew,
well, it was doing it for me.
Well, it was doing it.
Well, and then you threw
a problem.
Threw the wood on the wood.
Yeah. No, it's just like a little bit too much of Robert De Niro and a little bit too much joy for me.
Yeah, just because you're jealous, that's all.
Yeah, I guess. But other than that, B+, good movie.
8 out of 10, definitely buy it, because I know.
And even with those couple sexual parts that I'm talking about, where they're in bed together or when he's going to massage, it's nothing the kids can't see. They see that stuff in a Dove commercial.
Yeah, there you go. But I think if you buy the movie, it sends a message that these films are good.
Yeah, buy the movie, go out and see it.
Yeah,
take your wife, take your husband. Not if you're if you're a Gen Xer and you wear I don't know, you ride your bike to school with or you ride your bike to work with a backpack and you play Xbox still. Don't take your wife to go see this one. But if you're like man here and you wear suits and you're a cool guy, because you just don't need to add fuel to the fire. So baby boomer generations, take your wives, and Generation X, you'll be okay. But my generation, the millennials, probably want to stay away from this one.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. We got a lot coming up here on Blue Number Media. We do every week, and there's a couple more shows left of the Fear the Walking Dead. We watch that show and we talk about it. And we do movie reviews every week. We have first fan reviews, too, where I interview first fans, and we're going to do just a lot more stuff. I mean, a lot more stuff coming up. So subscribe to Blue Number Media, and you can go to bluenumbermedia.com, and you can send us an email at bluenumbermedia@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can like us on Facebook too.
Make some comments below.
Comment below. Tell us what you thought of the movie, or tell us that we're complete idiots. Whatever.
That happens a lot.
But thanks for watching. And like I said, if you want to click below and see what the first fans had to say, that link is also in this description. And we'll see you next time. See you Monday morning. We're talking about Fear the Walking Dead.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
And do the cheers.
Salute.